Welcome back, friends. Zach here, full-time reseller, and it's a beautiful Monday morning coming back at you again to share with you everything I sold online in the past 48 hours over the weekend. Had some pretty good sales. I believe I had 13 sales total. Got a good variety of clothing, shoes, a couple hard goods, and even a couple purses I can share with you. So we'll go ahead and get started with the hard goods, or a few of those. This is just a Canon 35mm Sure Shot, and this guy I bought at a garage sale last summer for 50 cents. It is untested, it's unproven if it will work, but it still sold for $16 plus shipping, so I'm good with that. I do very good with digital cameras, and especially 35mm cameras, but I don't usually go to the extent to try to test all of them. If I can and I can prove it works, that always helps. You'll make more money. But if you just want to get them and flip them, even if they're in tough condition, just make sure that you denote that the item is untested, just so you don't make somebody angry. So next item, I'll switch over here, is actually a Coach purse, and I just purchased this for $1 at a garage sale this past weekend. I walked up, couldn't believe that I seen the tag. I thought that it was a fake, but I looked at it, I looked on the inside, I checked out the stitching, and sure enough, it was legit. Now this is, however, a very older style. It's the canvas logo purse. It's very signature. It's kind of what Coach is known for, but because there's nothing extremely special about it, and also because it had some stains, a few flaws to it, it sold for $25.50 on an offer plus $9 shipping. But again, I only paid $1 for it, so I'm good with that. Happy to see it move. And this has been kind of a good summer for purses, so I'm not gonna say no to profit. So next item here I got is an iron and resin men's button-up shirt. This is a brand that has a really good sell-through rate. Now I did pay $5.99 for this, so definitely paid up at a thrift store, but high sell-through rate brands typically do sell for me in that 3-month period. So just make sure you're checking your solds and completeds. Make sure you're not buying things that are gonna sit on the shelf for a long period of time. And this guy sold for $20 plus $5.50 shipping. Good with that, happy to see it move. All right, next item that sold over the weekend was another purse, and this is a Pendleton purse. It's got that beautiful Aztec Southwest print. This purse here sold for $27 plus $9 shipping. It did sell on an offer. I let it go cheaper because it has a tremendous amount of flaws. Much of the leather bordering around the wool on this bag had been torn. It has some spots where the wool is missing just from wear and tear, but with these Pendleton bags, they'll still sell. I like to use keywords in the description box like Aztec, Southwest, Native, Choctaw, and all of that's just going to give the item more exposure. And this print right now is very hot, whether it be in clothing or on a purse, a blanket, you name it. That Aztec print is very sought after, so I love selling it. Okay, next couple items are just bread and butter brands. This is Carhartt, and I always say Carhartt is my business partner. I sell more Carhartt than any other brand. I picked this up. It is a flame resistant long sleeve work utility shirt. I only gave $2 for this. It did sell on an offer for $18 plus $7.50 shipping, and I always try to tack on a little bit more shipping on plus size garments or garments that are of heavier material. That way you're not having to cover so much of the shipping. And because I live in northern New Mexico and a lot of my sales go to the East Coast, I always got to be careful that I'm not undershooting what I charge on my flat rate shipping. It takes some thought, it takes some practice to do flat rate, but you want to make sure that your rates are competitive so you get that sale. So love Carhartt, always sells for me. All right, now this is probably the second best selling brand in my store. This is Ariat. It is a flame resistant long sleeve crew neck shirt, and I'm sorry I can't display it out for you. I have it already packaged up in a clear storage bag. I've been trying to do that with a lot of my smaller soft items just to be able to pack in more items in a bedroom. I operate from home and I have over 800 items in a bedroom right now as we speak, and that's not including several other closets and other bedrooms that are packed full of clothing. And so anybody getting into reselling that might be operating out of their house would probably want to consider doing this just to save space, and I've been doing it lately just because I'm running out of room. But back to the shirt here. This shirt sold for a little bit less, like I said, $17.10 plus $8 shipping, but it was very distressed, and that's okay because it's a great brand, it's flame resistant, and it's very sought after. I got one more item to share with you. It's also unfortunately in the clear package, storage package. This is a Carhartt Force shirt. It's short sleeve. It's a nice green. It's in good condition. This guy right here sold for $13.20 plus $5 shipping, but I only gave $2 for it, and I bought this just a couple weekends back at a garage sale. So again, Carhartt's money. Just about anything I buy that's Carhartt does well for me, and so I'm good with that. Now this is where I get the opportunity to be humble, and I get to occasionally share my mistakes with you. And so I sourced these pants a couple months back at a Goodwill in Colorado. I did pay, I think, 10 and some change for them. This is Flint and Tinder. This is a highly sought after brand. They are some chinos. I brought them home and washed them and didn't realize that the washing machine had OxiClean in them. And I use OxiClean for a lot of items, a lot of garments to clean. But unfortunately, certain colors will sometimes fade if you use OxiClean. And I had no intention of washing these in that load. Once I got them out and dried them, I realized the mistake I had made. So I let these guys go for pretty cheap. I think they went for less than $10 just because of the fading that is all around them. But I did get some shipping out of them. I'm gonna at least make my money back. You're gonna learn as you go. Try to remember those mistakes, and so that way you don't make them again. But Flint and Tinder is a Huckberry brand, so look up Huckberry. Any of the brands that sell on Huckberry online typically will resell very well for good profit, and I've made some good money off a lot of those brands, so trust me on that. Next item up is a pair of On Cloud Nova women's running shoes. Just sourced these recently, I think last week. Did pay 8 and some change, I want to say, for them. And these sold on an offer for $39 plus shipping. They do have some staining to the front toes. They're used, but they're not in terrible shape. They're kind of middle of the road, but I wouldn't consider them beaters. I love selling On shoes. Regardless of the condition, if you're smart about pricing competitively and your shipping's not too high, they generally will sell. But just make sure to note the flaws, because a lot of running shoes can be pretty beat up. But On is definitely one of my favorite running brands. Okay, I got some Teva sandals, and this isn't something that I pick up a whole lot, but I was able to get into these, I think, for $1 just a few weekends back, and these sold on an offer for $22. I'm gonna go ahead and do free shipping, and on beat up shoes and sandals or older shoes, I often do free shipping. That just helps to try to get a faster sale. I do have to eat that shipping cost, but I would say that I only do free shipping on less than 10% of the items I sell, and so I try to do that to keep my shipping rating higher. And for that reason, I'm gonna let these guys go for a good price. And I was just good about denoting that the rubber is a little bit faded, that the cloth on the straps are a little bit beat up. I did use keywords like hiking, camping, trail, river, water park. And again, that'll give it more exposure just to get you a better sale. So I'm winding it down now, just down to the last couple items, couple hard goods for you. This is a Starbucks cup, and I've moved away from buying mini Starbucks mugs. I come across them all the time. I still look them up because there's some out there that are highly collectible and worth some money. But as a whole, I've only relegated myself to purchasing cups, and I want the Starbucks cups to come with the lid. This one right here sold on an offer for $21. I've been holding it for about 6 months now, so I'm not gonna make a whole lot off of it because I did do free shipping, and I do free shipping on a lot of my cups. Again, that's just another way to move the item. Profit by the time this thing's shipped off will probably only be between $8 to $12, but I only gave $1 for it, so it's all money, baby. The very last item today is something I really like to sell, and I don't come across it a whole lot. This is an unbranded vintage enamel stock pot. I picked this up for $6.99 about 3-4 months back. This guy sold for $21, some change plus shipping. And items like this, even if they have some patina or some wear, some rust, some scratches, they will still sell. You just got to be good about denoting it. And so that's everything I sold over the weekend. pretty decent for middle of July. Just remember, if your sales are slow, try to increase how many listings you're adding to your store daily. That always helps me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly in the comments. I love to share what I know about reselling, and I'm still in the process of learning, and that's the fun part, is this game you can continue to learn forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and wind it down. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this will help you in your sourcing endeavors and help you to make more money. I know watching videos on YouTube like this helped me when I was first getting started. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. As always, if you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe.